It's March 31st. That's been declared Easter Sunday, which is weird because I'm used to, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are used to Easter Sunday um, showing up in April. But I made one video earlier today concerning the resurrection, the chapter 15 of First Corinthians. And I've just got some things on my heart that I feel like I need to discuss, and I'm pretty sure that there's people that will relate to a lot of what I have to share. Nowadays, people don't really pay too much attention to what is going on around them anymore. It's like we've fallen so far away from what is real and true that it's like we're just living robots where we might as well be robots from the way that we have to live life in this world. The Bible tells us that Jesus overcame the world, and that's what he said in his words. And it's a lot of, and there's a lot of, I don't know how to say it, stressful life circumstances that people are facing right now. And the reality of it is that we always, I've done it before myself, but we always look for a source to blame for the problems we have individually, as groups. And it's difficult because we forgot how to help each other. Sure, society as a whole is making progress in releasing what was once pressured as to be racism, but it really isn't helping us mature spiritually, mentally, socially, because the way we're interacting now is more fluid with the world system and how things have been established by men. I'm saying this because everything is about money. The Bible tells us that we can't serve God and mammon. Mammon, I'm assuming, is something other than God, whatever that you can find to replace God with would be a mammon, whether it be work, career, business, family, relationships, circumstances, status quo, position, whatever you might think of. You know, your appearance or your established presence, or you know, uh, your following. The Bible also tells us, "Do not make thyself any graven image," and that's actually one of the proposed Ten Commandments that Moses came down from Mount Sinai with. but there's a lot more commandments than just those 10. The reason why I'm making this video is because there are so many situations that people have forgotten that we haven't really so much as considered our neighbor. It doesn't matter what the skin color is. You know, it doesn't matter what your background is or how you live or what it is you do for a living, what your status is in the community. All those things matter, but they're not as important as how you present yourself as a person on a daily basis. Jesus tells us that a tree is known by its fruit. And I'm quite certain that he means by the way we act shows us the type of person that we are. You know, the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself, the way you respect other people, if you respect other people, um, how you present yourself publicly, whether or not you get involved in dramatic affairs that have nothing to do with you, if there's stressful situations around you constantly, those types of things. And the company you keep makes a really big difference in the way you think. Personally, I've grown weary of being active in society or, trying to interact with the people in my environment unless we are on the same path. Or, you know, there was times in my life where I felt like I was doing something good by trying to take people with me. And I was talking to my dad a little while ago, a few hours prior to the making of this video, and God gave me a revelation. And it goes a little something like this. You can see somebody who needs help that doesn't ask you for help, that you would want to offer your help to. But they will look at you and hoping that you would offer your help or assistance to them. But they won't appreciate it as much as the person making it known that they need help. Because those two different types of people make they two different realizations. The first person, the one that doesn't ask for help, is and it's seems like it might be a little indifferent for me to say this, but pride is a factor. Pride is definitely a factor in when someone doesn't want to ask for help, or they don't know how to communicate effectively to ask for help. But there are those types of people that they don't necessarily have pride, or their pride isn't really an issue. It's just that they get so used to being turned down or rejected that they don't know how to ask for help. Some of us overcome those weaknesses or those um, fears of asking for help, and do it even though this is like in the face of adversity. You have to have courage. And obviously, if you're in a position where you need help with something, that in itself is adversity. I came up with something at one point when I had a revelation at an earlier time, maybe about a year ago, where I felt that God had given me this specific saying to understand that, and it goes something like this. It's adversity comes adversely through adversaries. Anything that is adversity is a challenge, something that's against you. Adversely is something that's not working in your favor. And an adversary is somebody who wants to rise up against you. So, in all those three factors being the same, it's in those times where we either have too much pride to ask for help or have too much fear to ask for help. The pride of being that we put it on the next person to be responsible to see the outcome of our circumstance improve. That's pride. Instead of taking responsibility or holding yourself accountable. And some of us that have fear, we hold ourselves accountable so much so because of the rejection that we've endured throughout our lifetime that forget how to ask for help. We don't know how because the fear of rejection, the fear of being rejected or ignored or denied or refused. So it's either pride or fear. Okay. And the third and final is the one that's making it apparent that they need help. They're asking for help. And I'm going to sum all this up for you in just a minute. They're asking for help prominently, indiscriminately, verbally. They're making it known. I need help. I have a problem. I need help. I want to do better. Can you help me? Can anybody help me? And they'll keep asking and keep asking and keep asking from one stage to the next until they get the answer that's needed, not the one they want. They're not going to go after the yes because they want a yes. They're going after what they believe that is necessary. So I'm going to summarize what I just said. And this is the way God gave it to me. He said to me, don't offer assistance to people that you see struggling or see having issues or facing adversity that don't make it known that they need help. Because those people are are not or will not appreciate it as much as the person making it known that they need help. They're looking for something, and it's hard. I'm going to say it's hard because it is, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a I'm not a person that holds myself up on a pedestal or tries to. I don't want to make myself famous for anything, but I believe that we have to work on ourselves as being able to relate to other people, because God blesses us with gifts, not to be taken for granted or misused, but so that we can be a blessing to someone else. God is not going to bless us with something that's just for us individually. He's not going to be, okay, this is just for you specifically. Don't offer it to anybody else. And I never understood that. It's taken me a long time to understand what God had been teaching me throughout my life. And I'm still far from learning it all. But the revelation that God gave me was not to offer my help or assistance to someone unless they ask for it. Because if they're not asking, they won't appreciate it as much as the person that's asking. And if you have any knowledge of what I mean by saying that and what it means, hopefully you have an understanding. It's not so you can turn a blind eye to a person's issues. Let me give you an example. If there's a homeless man just sitting on a corner and they're making no effort whatsoever, to try to improve their situation, and it is always say in the same spot, and you see them at that same place all the time, they've chosen to settle there. And you could offer, but it's not going to be appreciated as much as a person who is making an avid attempt to improve their situation or circumstance. And I don't mean any of this in a hateful manner, because I'm a living example of all this, what I'm talking about. I don't ever talk about something that I haven't either firsthand experienced or done personally. And it's difficult because, you know, people that sometimes get into situations that they don't know how to handle or don't know how to work through, or and they try to find coping mechanisms or somebody to blame or somebody to hold accountable, or thrusting the responsibility of their personal situation on the other people, or projecting their anger toward them. And they don't do it intentionally. It's more of a psychological thing, because it's stress. You know, people get stressed. People go through stuff, you know. And I'm not talking about physically going through stuff like digging through the trash. I'm talking about going through stuff like trying to understand what it is, the next step. What is the next step? Where can I go from here? Who can I talk to? How can I deal with this? And the ones that are looking for coping mechanisms or somebody to blame, they're not trying to work through the problem. They've already accepted that they have a problem and they just want to stay right where they are. But the ones that are avidly looking for an answer, trying to find a way to resolve or find a solution, or change something or do something to be a better person, or try to improve their situation, so that not just so they can improve their own lives, but so that they can help the next person, that you know it's a difficult thing right now. And all these politicians and big business owners and people want to try to blame the politicians or the presidents or the congressmen. And you have to remember, if you vote, you're one of the reasons why those people are in those positions. So you have to look in the mirror, because it was most likely your vote that put them there. You saw something in them that represented the way you feel or think about something, so you put those people in that position. And now you're totally disagreeing with what they say or think, because it's not exactly what you thought it would be. You're looking for the wrong answer in the wrong person in the wrong place. I could tell you the answer to everything, but it wouldn't mean anything coming from me unless you were really looking for it. So that would be one of the circumstances that I'm attributing this video to. I'm not going to offer information that's not being requested. If, for example, if you see something in this video that strikes you, or you can relate to, and you don't have a comment and you don't have any questions based on what I'm mentioning, I can't then offer information that you didn't ask for, because it would go unappreciated, unrecognized, not intentionally. But I put these videos up to help other people that have similar situations or circumstances that they face, so that they can learn how to cope with things other than playing the blame game or finding a new drug. You know, some people go out and get tattooed because the pain is their drug. The pain of having the tattoos. It's not that they're trying to make a statement or use their body as a canvas. They're using that as a coping mechanism. Somebody who has to have a drink before or after work, or somebody who has a drug habit. I'm not going to call it an addiction, because then an addiction is a choice. You have to choose to ingest whatever it is you call an addiction. So you're choosing that thing. Calling it an addiction is finding a way to justify you choosing to do that thing. But you refusing to get help for that, if it be an addiction, means you're choosing it, and it's not an addiction. It's just a habit. Somebody who is an addict of any kind for any reason look for ways to try to break that habit, depending on the hold that that habit has on the person. So it kind of falls under the same category. You can't offer help to somebody who didn't ask for it, because it would go unrecognized and unappreciated. They didn't ask, don't offer. Just some advice. But if they're asking you and they're making it known, and they're making attempts to make a way to find a resolve or find a solution to the thing they're dealing with, and they're looking for somebody to help them genuinely, by all means, don't turn a deaf ear to them. Don't turn a deaf ear to them at all, because they need somebody. They need somebody to encourage them. And that this video right here is the whole premise behind the reason why I make videos. Not so that I can be famous, or be an influencer, or be a, you know, creator or anything like that. I'm making it known that God is the creator. There's only one creator. And I'm hoping that I can pass along some information that will help people to make a difference in their own lives and spread the love, because it there's not enough of it. There's always, you hear people, everybody wants to be a rapper, or an influencer, or a creator, or be famous or be rich. And every bit of music anymore always has to have something to do with getting shot up or getting killed or selling drugs or being on them or having sex with every person that you come across. And there's no healthy knowledge in any of that. I mean, yeah, the people that are making those styles of music, it's not entertaining anymore. It's you're they're inserting ideas in the person into the people's heads, and there's a lot of people that agree with those types of things, and they'll continue to do them. So you have to watch the information that you're putting in if you really want to make a change in your own life. That's what I'm trying to say. So all the information that's out here, and the person will come across a video like this and completely just scroll by it because it's not exciting, it's too boring, or it doesn't have enough of fun or appeal to it. That's fine. God will open the door, because when God opens the door, no man can shut. And if He opened the door for you to watch this video, I'm hoping that you be encouraged by what I'm saying. I'm not telling, I'm not saying for you to ignore people that have problems. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that God put on my heart as a revelation to not openly offer help to people that are in need of help unless they make it known they need help. They have to recognize, genuinely recognize they need help. Does any of this make sense? And I hope it does. And I hope the Lord guides you and directs your paths this week and every day, whatever day that this video sees you, that you watch this video. I hope He blesses you abundantly with courage and confidence to face that adversity that comes adversely through adversaries. I hope He strengthens you and keeps you and helps you to focus. And when you have something that you want to do that's major, just inquire of the Lord. Ask God what it is you should do about it and wait for the answer. You'll know the answer when it comes, and you'll know it was God that answered it, because if you just give it to God initially and only God, He will answer, and you will know that it is definitely God when the answer comes. I hope all that made sense. But always ask God, and I can guarantee you the answer when you get the answer. If you'll wait on Him, you'll know that it's worth it, and you'll know that waiting on God is worth it. I hope you have a blessed day, a blessed week. Be safe out there, and do do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people the way you want to be treated, respectfully. In Jesus' name, for Christ's sake. Have a wonderful day.